Hey y'all, Ramdino here, coming at you again from North Carolina, where leaves are still green. Hopefully though, in the next couple weeks, this place will just blow up with Technicolor and be excited, because that means fall's here, the end of the year's here, and 2020 is almost over. And I know that we are all looking forward to this year being over. So not that we want to wish our life away, but anyway, if you've come here to this channel and you're looking to find out what's going on in the Appalachian Trail Thru Hiker community, or the hiker community at large, help me build the hiker community, then you've come to the right place. So there's a lot of information out there. I took last week off from the updates to take the Miss Ramdino up to Cage Cove in the Great Smoky Mountains, and went up there and just had a good time hanging out with her. Saw some bears, saw some feral pigs, saw some turkeys, saw lots of stuff up there, and just had a good time. So anyway, let's go ahead and get on with the update and the reason you came to see this channel. So what's going on out there with the Thru Hikers? Well, we've got a $2 steak. He summited Katahdin, and now he is on turned around Sobo, and he's heading on the rest of his trip, and he has made it through the 100 miles wilderness, and he continues on to Harper's Ferry. So that's awesome. Looking forward to his continued trip, as well as the other folks that flipped. Of course, this is the year of the flip-flop, and if you know anything at all about what's going on about that, you know there has been a ton of folks that are flipping. Fixin' and Silky, they are summited Katahdin, and now they are Sobo, heading into from Maine, of course, into Pennsylvania. Joe Hikes, he has made it through the presidentials, and he's doing the Wildcats right now. He is somewhere around mile 1900. Should be entering Maine on Monday, today being Sunday, and he's thinking that he is going to be summiting the first week of October, and then he will be done. So then he's looking at possibly go ahead and finishing the long trail. So if you know anything about Joe Hikes, he's already done the Penhody Trail this year when he got off due to the pandemic from the AT, got back on the AT. He's going to be finishing up that, and may drop back and do the long trail there in Vermont. So he'll have 3 long trails under his belt this year. So that is quite a testimony to his hiking endurance out there. So Joe Hikes, first off, look forward to you summiting, and then we'll look forward to you what you're going to be doing after that. Big Rig, he is on his Sobo portion of his flip-flop now, somewhere in the middle of Virginia, and he sends out a warning to folks that Three Springs Shuttle and the Appalachian Trail Shuttles and the Buena Vista Glasgow area there in Virginia are closed due to the pandemic. Trimmer, he is out of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park on his way to Hot Springs, and he'll finish the year in Irwin, Tennessee, and then he is going to be getting back on the trail in September and starting again then in the spring. So correction, not September, he'll be starting again in the spring. So there's a lot of folks that are doing that are definitely going to be starting their hike in 2020, and they'll be getting off for the winter, and then they'll be continuing on in the spring. So you'll hear a few more of those as we go. Father Time, he is back on the trail. He got back on where I-77 crosses the trail, and he's continuing on. Rock Flipper, he summited Katahdin, and he has restarted his Nobo from Irwin. He's got about 700, probably by now about 700 miles to go, maybe a little less. Redbeard, he is somewhere north of the Whites. Monk and his family, they are across the Kennebec River. I think I pronounced that right. But Monk's going to have to take a day or so off the trail to heal a nagging foot injury. Then he's going to catch back up with his family and finish up. And then he'll go ahead and summit with them. And then he will be coming back and finishing up probably about 40 miles that he's got to finish that he had to skip while his family continued on forward, and he kind of took a knee road and maybe a 0 or 2 to let that foot heal. So look, Monk, we look forward to you and your family summiting, and then you finishing your hike. Old Oriskany, he is over the 1,800 mile mark, and he is flipping from Pennsylvania to Katahdin, and then he'll come back and do his Sobo, and he is already probably flipped up now and should be arriving or already arrived in Bangor. Muan she is loving the Vermont trails, and she says she is almost to Massachusetts. Still seeing a lot of Nobos. She's with a mixed group of Sobos. And of course, she is Sobo herself right now after flipping up, summiting Katahdin, and then coming on back down. And as well as she's got some flip-floppers that are Sobo with her. And she says she is with a small group of Sobo folks, and she named off about 17 folks. None of them have social media accounts, so unfortunately we won't be able to track those folks or add them to our list. But she said she's with a small group of 17, so I'd hate to see what a big group is for her. But she did also say that she is enjoying some trail grapes and apples and blackberries that she's getting right on the trail, so that's pretty cool. Only thing I've ever had, well, I think I've had blackberries and blueberries when I went through Grayson Highland. So those are pretty awesome to get you just some fresh breakfast berries right there on the trail. And she did also say that the warming hut at Bromley was awesome, and she'll be finishing up at Harper's. So, Muan, we look forward to you finishing up and continuing your journey. Free Walker and his son, they are entering their final state of Maine. John Boy, he's in Maine. He's got about 200 miles left until he summits with his big finish. Crazy Quilt, she has flipped up and summited, and now she is Nobo and in the 100-mile wilderness. Screwball and Bloodhound, they summited Katahdin and flipped back down to finish up in Virginia, and they've got somewhere around 150 miles to finish, and they'll be done. So they are still very much posting. Screwball has sent a lot of posts out, so I'd encourage you to go look at that and keep him encouraging, as well as keep encouraging everybody else that is on our list. And finally, PTL, he is in Maine, and he's heading to the HOSTEL Maine. He's slowing down a little bit. He's hoping that his family can come up and possibly summit with him. And he does indicate that the temps are getting pretty chilly at night, but they are nice during the daytime. So all these folks, we have had them on our channel, had them on our hiker list, and you can go and find that hiker list and cheer them on down in the description section. There's a link down there to that Google Doc spreadsheet. So hopefully you'll go and do that. We don't have a lot of Sobo there, so I would, if you're a Sobo out there, or even a flip-flopper or no-bower who is not on that list, go and check that out. And if you want to be on that so other people can follow you on your trip and can share that with you and can cheer you on, then please let me know, and you can just send me your information in the comment section, or through the links there in the description section to my Facebook, Instagram, or my email account, and I'll be glad to include you there. We did have a few new hikers that we added to the list. Steelman 47, he is starting on the 12th, which is today, and he is southbound from Harper's Ferry, and he's going to finish down at Springer somewhere around the first week in December, and then he is going to be flipping back up to Harper's Ferry to finish up in 2021. So there again, that's another one that's going to be a 2021 thru hiker. No Brakes is updating. I don't know why we didn't have No Brakes already on our list, but I checked it and we didn't. He is with Pace, and they are in Maine in the 100-mile wilderness right now, and they are looking to summit on September 21st. But I have added No Brakes to our list. And then Ghost is a new hiker. She is not on our list and currently doesn't have any social media. Ghost is a subscriber, and she was on a was on a section hike with Phoenix and I, and so I did want to include her. She's going to be updating me, and with her permission, I'll update y'all as how she's going, and eventually she may decide to do a channel. Otherwise, you'll just hear about her from me. But she is another one that's going to be starting now, starting next week, and then she'll be going over into 2021. Okay, so who are the folks that have summited since our last update? Well, we've had a lot of folks summited, a lot of more people coming up, but Daisy and Crunch, they summited, and they get 2 congratulations. 1, they summited and finished their thru hike, and 2, they got engaged just before the summit. So that's awesome. Looking forward to seeing what life has for them and the trail has for them that's going to be out in front of them. So congratulations times 2. Hot Grease and from the 2 Mics Hike channel, they summited, and he was number 146 Nobo. So let me explain what that means. So when he got to Katahdin, Baxter State Park assigned him the number. He was the number 146 Nobo hiker, thru hiker to Summit Katahdin. And interesting enough, his Amicalola Falls ATC registration was number 147, so that's pretty cool. And then he was also hiking with Rerun, and Rerun is going back to pick up a few miles that he had not finished, that he had skipped, and then he will be finished with his hike. Bear was a Nobo, and he finished, and he never got off. He started March 8th, and he summited on September 2nd. So he took his time through the Northeast, and he said he enjoyed hostel life and meeting all those folks that were coming through and all those other thru hikers. So he kind of reminded me of Wrong Way from last year, who kind of took his time, enjoyed, had a good time, and enjoyed the hostel life, and kind of got caught in a few vortexes. But Bear finished just like Wrong Way did, so that's awesome, Bear. Congratulations. And then Oso, he was pure Nobo, and he was number 135, and he said that there had been 595 total summits of Katahdin when he had summited. So what that means is that the other 460 were either Sobo or flip-floppers. So when Oso, and this has been probably, I think, 2 weeks ago when he summited, there had been a total of 595 folks that had gone through Baxter State Park, either Nobo or Sobo. Duman, he has also been hiking the AT since March, somewhere around March 8th, and he is waiting for his son and daughter-in-law plus a few friends to summit with him. He said his wife's trail name, Angel, she's a trail angel, and her name is Majestic. And not only had she been supporting him throughout his journey, but she'd also been doing trail magic. So we appreciate that, Majestic, for you being a trail angel up there, and also for supporting your husband, Duban, as he gets ready to summit. Rock Glider, he is a section hiker on the AT, and has been doing so for the last 3.5 years, but he finally completed everything on the AT and finished the trail on the end of August. So congratulations to you, Rock Glider. Quite an accomplishment, even section hiking, quite an accomplishment to finish the entire trail. Danny DeVille, he summited also, and his hike was done so raising money for Hike for Mental Health, and he is still taking donations for that. So he's raised somewhere around $1,600 for the Hiking for Mental Health, and I'll leave a link to that down in the description section. I would encourage you to go and give to that. Hike for Mental Health is a recognized 501c3 organization, so your gifts to that are taxable deductions. Your donations to that through Danny DeVille's hike is tax deductible, and they are a nonprofit that has a vision of a world in which everyone, including those who suffer mental illness, can find the simple joy of just living. So the whole thing for them is trying to prevent suicides from particularly from folks out there that have been on the trail. So as you know, we typically lose at least 1 or 2 folks that have thru hiked each year to suicide. So it's tough when you get off the trail, particularly those that are, don't have a spouse to come home to, or family to come home to, or a job to come home to, and they get off the trail. They've been on it for 5-6 months, and now their whole world changes, and they come back to the matrix, and things are just different. So I do know that post-trail depression is a real thing. I've talked to too many thru hikers and people that are out there for extended stays to know that it is a real thing, and sometimes it just can be overwhelming. So the folks from Hike for Mental Illness, their mission is to alleviate the suffering of those afflicted by mental illness and to eliminate the associated stigma associated with that, and to foster a responsible use of wilderness trails. So I would encourage you to go and give to that. I think that's a worthy cause, and anything that can help, prevent suicide and can help folks, particularly folks that are involved in the wilderness experiences and hiking experiences, I think that's a worthy cause. And then we got the lollygaggers, which is the family of, or the tramley of Phoenix, Honeydew, Weezer, and Murph. And they have made it to Irwin, and they are going to be continuing their hike communicated with Phoenix today. They're going back down to Fontana, so I'm not sure if they're Sobo from Fontana or not. I think they will be. Phoenix had to get off. You remember Phoenix was hiking with Pappy. Pappy was trying to be the oldest in his 80s, I think late 80s, and he was trying to be the oldest person to thru hike. Of course, they had to get off due to the pandemic. Pappy did not get back on. He's going to be presumably getting back on in 2021, but they made it as far as, I think they made it to Gooch Gap. Or maybe, what's the one after Gooch Gap? I can't remember now. But in any case, they got off there. And then, Phoenix, of course, hiked with me a section hike from Devil's Fork Gap to Irwin. And Ghost was with us on that one. And then Phoenix has continued on north, and now he is hooked up with a tramline. So they came back, did the Smokies they hadn't done. And now I think he's going to hit Sobo from Fontana on down to where he got off there at Gooch Gap. So that is all the folks that we've got that have updated me this week. If you're a thru hiker, please send me your updates, either comment section again, or my Facebook page, or Instagram, any of those. All those links are down in the description section. We want to include everybody, don't want to leave anybody out that wants to be included in the update. And thanks to all those who did that. It really, really helps me out in putting this together every week. Not going out there and trying to find out where everybody is on the trail. So thanks a lot for folks, everybody that did that. Also, if you've summited, whether we've been following you or not, whether you've updated me or not, please let me know when you summit. We want to honor you by including your summit picture and just mentioning you there in our video, so that we can just honor your tremendous feat that you've done in thru hiking and finishing. It doesn't matter if you finish at Springer, Katahdin, or anywhere in between, just wherever you finish your thru hike for this year. Trail Angels, what's going on with them? Well, I did get a report back from our Trail Angel, Chris. She's up north around the northern New York border, and she said that she had at least 7 Sobos came through yesterday. And that is probably the most in one day. Most days over the past couple of weeks, she's only had about 1 to 3 that have come through. And she also wanted to indicate that, let everybody know that there was an incident at Wiley Shelter. That is the first Sobo shelter that is in when you're coming into New York. She found she does a lot of section trail walking up there, and she walked into that shelter, guy in there naked. So apparently he thought that it was another day of Hike Naked. Just so y'all know, there's only one day that's the official day of Hike Naked Day out there, and I can't remember what that day is, but this week was not that day. So in any case, she did the right thing. She just turned around and walked out and warned some other people on the trail and reported that to authorities. So that is the thing you do if you go into a shelter or you encounter somebody on the trail that is kind of sketchy. And I would think being buck naked would fall into the sketchy category. Then by all means, the best thing to do is just turn around and walk away. Fortunately, if somebody's buck naked, don't have a lot of places to hide a weapon. So you can probably feel pretty good about that, if you can feel good about anything with that encounter. But in any case, thanks a lot for that, Chris. So we do have a little bit of trail news, not a whole lot. But the Fontana Lodge there has opened back up. The general store for resupply has not, but the pit stop, which is kind of a quick stop gas station, has some limited resupply. That has opened back up there. And the general store is not. So if you want to send a resupply ahead, you probably need to send it to the lodge. Typically, the lodge has offered shuttles back and forth from the Fontana Dam and the Fontana Hilton there, and they're not doing that right now because they are so limited with limited staff, and they're reopening. The Fontana Dam post office is open, but it's really the hours are very limited. It's only open from 11:45 a.m. to 3:45 p.m. Monday through Friday, so that would not be a good place to send any resupply boxes. I would go ahead and send them to the lodge there, and that way they'll be open 24/7, so you'll be able to get that from somebody. And then a subscriber, Dave Edwards, he sent me some information and a lead there that there has been a death in the Smokies. A hiker was found with a bear that was scavenging his remains. Not to be too graphic, he was in a backcountry campsite. It was about on the Hazel Creek Trail, and it was about 8 miles from the Silers Bald shelter. The bear was euthanized by park officials. I don't have any information as to whether or not the bear actually killed the hiker or found the hiker and began to scavenge him. So in any case, bears are dangerous. It is a federal offense to be within 50 feet of a bear. 50 feet, in my opinion, is too close to a bear. Although I was probably 50 feet this past week when Miss Ramdino and I went to Cades Cove, we did see a bear, and he was probably about 30 feet up in a tree. But in any case, just remember that bears are dangerous, and please practice what you're supposed to be doing as far as keeping your bear hangs or whatever method you're using to prevent bears from getting in your food. So thanks a lot to all those folks again that sent me their update. Thanks a lot to the folks that sent me the news and your trail angels out there. I really appreciate that. This is a community channel, and I want to make sure that it's too big for me to go out and find all this stuff. People send me this information, and I vet it out to make sure it is correct, and then I bring it to you. So if you've got any information out there from trail news or anything, please let me know. If you're a trail angel, don't forget that we do have a private trail angel list. So if you're a thru hiker, we have some trail angels out there that want to help you, but they don't want their list, their name put out there publicly. I can send you that list once I've vetted out to make sure that you are indeed a thru hiker. If you're a trail angel and want to be on that list, please let me know and send me your information. I'll be glad to include that. Folks, that is all I got this week. As always, appreciate you, and we'll see you out there.